Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Langley Lab, another episode brought to you by Langley Consulting. And I am just so excited to be here, bring you the 12th episode of our Langley Lab and huge milestone because we are officially 1 year anniversary and your support has meant the world to us. And if this kind of content resonates with you and you'd like to see more, we aim to release these videos at least once a month with helpful guidance from a fellow HRIS consultant, yours truly, Hayel. So please like and subscribe. And today I am so excited because we will be covering some quick hacks that we performed for a recent customer that saved them hundreds of hours. So let's jump into what those quick hacks are and how you can start saving and getting the most out of your UKG Pro environment. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's stop wasting time with our UKG Pro products. Bringing ROI to clients makes me the happiest person out there, and it's the reason that I do what I do. So let's jump right into the three items that are essential for you to just quickly get a lot of ROI from your system. The first one, and I don't know why this isn't a part of UKG's implementation process. However, setting up a burst email to send new hire login credentials is one of the most easy things to set up and yet so overlooked. So if this is you're sending out login credentials manually right now because UKG doesn't have it automated or whatnot for you during implementation, please stay tuned as we go through some instructions on how to enable that and test it. Number two, auto numbering in onboarding. So if you are not familiar, you can have the system auto increment your employee numbers so that you don't have to keep track of it in a separate Excel sheet. If that sounds like you, stay tuned. We will also jump into some steps on how to accomplish that. And lastly, electronic pay preference. This is just such a simple thing to enable in your environment to essentially deliver pay statements electronically by default. And that is a huge time saver because I know a team was manually changing those to electronic delivery, whereas the majority of their organization was setting it as paper delivery default to avoid extra charges and extra paper wasting. They opted to move to electronic pay statements. So if that sounds like your organization, definitely stay tuned. We will also walk through some steps on how to accomplish that. The first feature, I kind of gave a little bit of a intro to this already, but it is essentially automating the delivery of login credentials to new employees. It eliminates that tedious manual work that maybe some business office managers are doing or an office manager of some sort. And we did this for a client that they had a lot of turnover. So you can imagine hiring 1,800 employees a year. That adds up in terms of manually sending out these credentials. So that saves a ton of time, as was shown in the prior slides. So how do we set this up? Well, if you have access to the UKG community, there is a burst welcome email to new employees that you can retrieve, and it is publicly available. It is shared amongst all UKG customers, and it's something that you can copy and paste into your BI environment. So you can copy and paste it. There should be a copy button at the top right of this screen that's cut out from here. But you can do that. You can search for this and it will pull up the XML in the community. And once you do, this is just a quick test. Once you have that, you go to BI. If you don't have access to these things that I'm mentioning, you would want to contact your system administrator, whether that's in payroll or HR, and they should be able to grant you access to do this. Or, they can do it for you, even better. So this is showing people analytics, aka BI, what I mentioned earlier, business intelligence. And we have a couple of other videos about business intelligence as a whole as well, if you're curious about those. So once you have this XML copied, all you need to do is at the top right of your BI People Analytics screen, you will select the three dots, hit Open Report from Clipboard, and then paste everything that you got, the XML. And think of XML as like the skeleton of a report. It doesn't carry any actual client data in it. It is simply the structure of the report. So as long as it doesn't have anything custom or custom package references, which this one I have validated does not. So it is very easy to transfer from client to client. Then you can open the report from clipboard and customize the report message. So once you have it loaded, then you will see something similar to this sample here shown on the screen. And now you can just click on anything and edit the text that it has. So if you want to communicate a different type of welcome message to your population, customize it to your culture, your specific requirements. So like not every customer has the same password requirements. Maybe you now have authentication upgrade and you have different requirements. Totally up to you as to what you put on there. And then, of course, designated a specific contact for who they should reach out to if they encounter any issues. Now, for the actual testing of the burst, you'd want to go to the query that's named workflow. And in there, you can modify the expression definition for the data item called test email. In there, you'd want to pop in an email that will actually be a recipient for what you want to test. So if that's you, then you insert your email. And that way you can verify that the welcome email will go out the way that you want it to go out. Once you have it, you can review the burst email. You can preview it in People Analytics in HTML to kind of get an idea of what it will look like in email after you've edited it. So that way you can actually take a look at it and see if it matches your desired specifications. And of course, we don't go into full detail here on how to set up a burst with the bursting options. But if that's something you're interested in and learning how bursts work and how to configure them and some of the kinks around it, definitely comment below. Happy to make another video about that to go into further detail. But there's also a lot of information about it on the community if you're interested in self-serving and researching it yourself as well. All right, feature number 2, auto numbering and onboarding. So this is the feature where you can just auto increment, as I was mentioning earlier in this video. It eliminates manual data entry and reduces some errors so that you're no longer tracking it manually. And it works pretty seamlessly if you are a pro and WFM user so that it syncs everything automatically versus you having to enter it into 5 different spots after the fact. So under application setup, this is using the new view navigation. So if this doesn't seem familiar, just toggle to the new view in UKG and navigate to application setup, company setup, view all details. And under the human resources tab, you'll just have to navigate there. You'll find the employee numbering method. And so you'll have to figure out which employee number was last used. I'm pretty sure the system will automatically pick up, at least when we were configuring for a specific client, the number will be automatically picked up that was last used. And you want to be a little cautious about this because once you turn this on, that number will just start to be used, the next auto incremented number. So if you need like a little pause between hires, that's up to you. You don't need to necessarily do that, but just to make sure it's working, advise putting this in the test environment first if you have that. All right, and once you're done there, you toggle over to Onboarding Portal, and in there, there's a separate settings and general area where you will need to toggle on employee number. And that is where you can sync essentially or have the employee number assigned during the onboarding process way earlier than even being pushed to core. So that is also really neat for activating the employee number method. And then, of course, once the employee enters their social security number during the onboarding process, they will be able to have a employee number assigned. It will either prompt the onboarding owner to request that employee number, or it will just automatically assign it. And the really neat thing about this is if an employee that is being rehired enters an employee number, the system automatically recognizes that and assigns them their former employee number. So really, really neat. And right here, this is a screenshot of what that looks like once they filled out that paperwork and that the allocation of the employee number is auto-generated for you. All right, and the last part here, again, quick fire of all of these hacks so that you get the most out of this video. The last part here is electronic pay statement preference. What it is, it's switching pay statements to electronic only and reduces paper handling so that you don't have to have a lot of people manually sending out pay slips. Now, I will caveat this that it is a requirement in many states to still offer a paper option or at least make it available if they request it. So if an employee does request a paper statement preference where they want to receive a pay stub in the mail or by paper form, you absolutely as a business can look into that for your specific location and state requirements to ensure that you are in compliance. But for this specific client, there was literally one out of 1,800 that wanted a paper statement preference. And so we just assigned that to an admin to print out for them and deliver. So really, really saves us time, especially in this age of electronic preferences. So how do we do that? Step one, we would have to disable the print employee advices under the payroll gateway administration area. Now, this is something that once you turn it on, you will no longer have a pay statement preference option of paper only. So that's just something to keep in mind. So you either turn it on and you only have electronic option available, or you leave it off and you have both options, but it automatically defaults to paper, which creates a bit of a headache for anybody who's entering employees and has to change that manually. So you just have to turn off the print employee deposit advices, and that will make sure that that section is no longer permitting employees to request paper options. Now, another note to this that I didn't include in this presentation, but I'll give it to you as a tidbit for listening this much, is you'll want to go to web access rights. And in the employee role that you use to assign to employees, you'll want to remove the option that says change pay statement preference. It's a business process that is automatically enabled for employee roles if you haven't customized it. So you'll want to make sure that in the role level that the employee is assigned, that they no longer have that option, because if they click on it, it'll just error out. They won't be able to change that pay statement preference. So just a little extra tidbit there. Oh, it looks like I did include it. So yeah, that's where you'll want to edit it and make sure that they no longer have that option to view or edit in the web access rights. It'll prevent employees from reverting, even though they won't have the option to. It'll just give them an error. And that saves our clients multiple hours. Those are our 3 hacks. And I just wanted to point out again that many states do require you still give an employee a paper stub if they request it. So it's environmentally friendly and it's the way that the majority of organizations are moving. So if you're interested in working together, if you found this presentation helpful, you want to work together, you're like, Hayel, but you went over a lot of terms that I have no idea what you're talking about. It's okay. We can slow it down. We can even teach you, train you on how to maintain this kind of stuff by yourself. We know that teaching our clients to fish for themselves is a huge asset. So that's what we're here for. And if you enjoyed it, that's our email below, info@langleyconsultingllc.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. And once again, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. It keeps us motivated. Any comment we aim to reply to, react to, or interact with in some way. And we are just so happy to be here. 1-year anniversary. We made it. Let's do it. So we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Take care. And here's some bonus content. If you haven't seen any of our other episodes, feel free to search through them and say hi to Charlie. Charlie. She's camera shy.